A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahil qadiril alim. Al-fatiril hakim. Al-jawadil kareem. Ar-rabbir rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nasalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear brothers and sisters, inshallah ta'ala, today we will talk about the great scholar Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa Rahmatullah Alaih. He was one of the Tabi'een, and that is, he was one of those who was fortunate enough to see the noble Sahaba who were companions of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Imam Abu Hanifa Rahmatullah Alaih was born in the year 80 after the Hijrah, and that is in the year 698 or 699 of the Common Era. He is one of the founders of the Hanafi school of fiqh. There are 4 schools of fiqh in the Sunni Muslim world. They are the Hanafi school, the Maliki school founded by Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alaih, the Shafi school founded by Hazrat Imam Shafi Rahmatullah Alaih, and the Hanbali school founded by Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal Rahmatullah Alaih. These scholars were of the highest caliber. They are called Mujtahid scholars, and they are known as Mujtahid Mutlaq, that is, they are absolute Mujtahids. In order to be considered as a Mujtahid scholar, there are very strict preconditions that the scholars have set forth. Among them are, first, mastery of the Arabic language, the second being mastery of Quran and Hadith, that is, understanding of their commentaries, understanding the situations in which verses were revealed, and understanding the interpretive techniques. Another requirement of a Mujtahid scholar is understanding the science of Hadith, that is, understanding the change of narrators and understanding the science of the men who narrated those Hadith. One must also understand the positions of the Sahaba, the Tabi'een, and the Imams on different fiqh issues when ijma was reached, for example. One must know about qiyas, its conditions and when it can be applied. One must understand public affairs and understand the goals of Sharia, that is, the maqasid of Sharia. And finally, one must be of extreme personal virtue, intelligence, and honesty. And Imam Abu Hanifa Rahmatullah Alaih satisfied all of these conditions. In his youth, Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa wasn't a student. Actually, he continued on his family trade of silk merchantry. Once when he was going to the market, one of the famous scholars of the time, Hazrat Shabi Rahmatullah Alaih, stopped him and asked him, "Oh boy, where are you going?" So the Imam, at that time a young boy, he replied, he said, "I'm going to such and such a merchant." And Shabi, the scholar, he said, "Oh, I meant, whose classes are you going to?" And the Imam replied at the time, he said, "Oh, I don't take any classes." So Hazrat Shabi said, "You should take classes because I see signs of intelligence within you." And from that point on, Imam Abu Hanifa used to take classes. He has studied under many scholars. The 2 most common scholars under which he studied, the 2 most prominent ones were Hazrat Hamad bin Sulaiman Rahmatullah Alaih, who was a hadith expert, and Hazrat Ata bin Rabah Rahmatullah Alaih, who was one of the very famous Tabi'een and who had studied personally from many of the noble Sahaba. In Muhammad ibn Sirin's book of dreams, that is the interpretation of dreams, there is an account of the young Imam Abu Hanifa Rahmatullah Alaih. Once he saw in a dream when he was young that he was going to pillage the tomb of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And he woke up very frightened from this dream, and he told it to his teacher of Quran. And the Quranic teacher explained to him, "Boy, if this dream is true, then it means that you will be one of those who clarifies the sacred law and separates what is true from what is false." And the scholars have said that this is one of the dreams that did come true, and the Imam is very famous for clarifying the Sharia law. Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa Rahmatullah Alaih didn't teach fiqh during the time of his teacher Hazrat Hamad bin Sulaiman, but he took over Hazrat Hamad's teaching circle when the latter passed away. Once he had sent his agent to a foreign country to sell some portion of silk, and he had instructed the agent that when you sell this portion of silk, make sure you point out that there's a defect in the silk, so the purchaser will know that. When the agent came back, the agent realized that he had forgotten to do so, and Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa was very worried and very concerned, and he decided he had to give away the whole consignment of silks. The proceeds of that consignment, he gave it away in charity, because he didn't know which portion of the wealth was halal and which one was haram. Once when Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa was teaching, he was sun, and nearby was the shade of a wall. So his students asked him, "Oh Shaykh, why don't you sit in the shade and it'll be more comfortable for you, you won't be so hot?" And the Imam replied, "My student, this wall is owned by a man to whom I had given a loan to. And if I sit in the shade of this wall, I will be benefiting from that loan, and I don't want to benefit from that loan or be associated with usury in any way."